Hello from my studio space. This is Swan with Blank Canvas and Coffee. This video provides helpful tips on how to build your painting. During this painting session, I will be painting glass objects in natural light, working in acrylics on mixed medium paper. These steps are similar to how other art mediums are used, such as oil paintings or working in chalk or oil pastels. These seltzer bottles are lit with midday natural light. First, the underdrawing. This does not need to be detailed. There are a few options on how to transfer your drawing. Either transfer from a finished drawing using graphite paper or create a freehand drawing to lay out the basic drawing on the canvas or board the painting will be completed on. Here's an example of transferring with graphite paper. You can see the drawing, but there are some smudges. These smudges can be removed with a kneaded eraser. Just drag the eraser lightly across the painting surface. Or skip this option and use warm or cool tones to create a color wash focusing on the values of the finished piece and build the painting on that. Now add the values of the color wash using the warm or cool color chosen to complete the underpainting. This stage of the painting allows the artist to study the values of the objects and the still life and allows time to study how those values can be used to communicate the desired effect in the finished piece. Work out the color roughs and experiment with different color palettes, similar to a thumbnail sketch. This is a mini version of the painting. These color rough samples include options created with different cool color palettes for the glass bottles. The first color rough shows cerulean blue, Turner's yellow with yellow oxide, and titanium white added for the lighter background color. The second color rough shows phthalo green mixed with cerulean blue for the bottles, and then Turner's yellow and cadmium yellow medium and orange cadmium medium for the base, and the cadmium yellow medium with titanium white used for the lighter background. The third color rough is a lighter approach to the piece and shows light blue violet alone and Turner's yellow with titanium white for the base, and I added more titanium white to the Turner's yellow for the lighter background. Select the preferred look for the finished painting. Now it's time to start painting. Brush selection. To begin, I am using larger and smaller flat brushes to knock in the base of my painting. I will also use a filbert brush, a smaller tapered flat brush for smaller details, and a fine point brush can be used for even smaller accents and detailed work. Keep in mind that prepping the workstation allows for less interruptions during a painting session. I'm using the colors from the third color rough. I just like how those colors complement each other. Now working in acrylics, I use water to keep the paint from drying out through the painting process. Just keep a spray bottle available to spritz the paint as needed throughout the painting process. In the first drawing stage and in the earlier stage of painting, keep in mind where the light source is coming from. How do the values turn the form of the object? How does the light reflect off of the object? What is the focal point of the finished piece? Is it a detail in the object? Here you can see my vantage point. The clear bottle overlaps the blue bottle, and I am able to show more interesting reflections in that overlapping area. I am building the values with the thicker paint strokes, working from dark to light colors. This is still the underpainting stage. I am still able to check the angles of the objects and cast shadows and make corrections as needed. The detail on the silver nozzles does not need to be as detailed. I am looking to highlight the glass portion of the still life objects. Now, looking at the surface the bottles are set on, I am looking for areas of interest to allow the color to peek through the base and the body of the clear bottle in a unique way. The bottles now appear more like glass bottles. I see a bit of warmth near the cast shadow of the blue bottle. I'm going to exaggerate the presence of the warmer tone to get the shadows shape more interest. That will be a nice way to carry the eye through the painting. Continuing with the background color, I am using this same color to show the highlights on the bottle created by the reflection of the window in the top area of the bottles. Mixing the colors, I test the color next to the color rough first to make sure that I am staying consistent with the chosen color in my color rough. It's easier to make adjustments now before adding the color to the finished painting. At this point, I like to start adding the finished paint strokes. Don't forget to add the background color through the bottles. At this point, I tend to also go back into each area of the painting and continue building, trying to provide balance to the piece. Adding more titanium white to lighten the colors to create lighter highlights. Going back in with cool highlights and again with warmer highlights. Finishing the painting, keep checking the angles in the painting and to see if anything looks off, or if the colors aren't working completely in the finished piece. Go back in and add any accent colors or complementary colors in shadow areas or in a highlight to make the painting sing. Rinse out your brushes between colors to keep the brush fresh and clean. Less buildup on your brush allows for easier paint application. Working quickly and with decided brush strokes helps to keep the finished painting looking just as fresh and spontaneous as the color rough or comprehensive painting. Here I am still adding some color, cool and warm highlights, seeing what can be added and what can just be left out. This is the fun part of the painting, where an artist can lose themselves in the final process of the painting and maybe experiment more with accent colors that are last-minute inspirations. As the natural light source moves and changes, new highlights or shadow shapes might be more interesting, so allow time for changes or additions. Focusing now on the blue bottle, I am adding lighter cool color to turn the form a little more and give the object the colored glass look. I am going back in with cerulean blue on the flat brush to give each cast shadow a little more depth and also to add definition to the base of both bottles. Now I am going back in with light blue violet and titanium white to add some definition to the top of the blue bottle. Just adding some fun shapes in there to add some interest. Adding the logo etched on the bottle provides more interest as well, and also adding the blue bottle color to be seen through the clear glass bottle where the two objects overlap. Going back into the clear glass bottle with the lighter cool color to create more highlights. This will help the object appear more glass-like. Step back from your finished work and look away from the painting. Think of a blank canvas. Now look back at your work. What stands out to you? Is there any detail that needs to be changed or added to? If not, clean your brushes and then step away from the painting. Your work is done. Cleaning up the workspace means taking good care of your art brushes. Both synthetic and natural bristle brushes can be cleaned the same by just rinsing in water. While rinsing out your flat brushes, use the bottom of the rinse water to loosen paint from the brush as needed, but don't scrub with the brush. Be gentle. It does not take much to clean the brush. Then gently glide the brush through the paint rag. The smaller brushes, you don't need to use the bottom of the rinse water jar as much as for the larger brushes. Briskly swish the brush through the rinse water and gently glide the brush over the paint rag to remove excess water. For the fine point or round brushes, swish in the rinse water and gently turn the brush along the paint rag to remove excess water, and then allow the brush to air dry. This will encourage the brush to keep the fine point shape for your next art studio session. During today's studio art session, I enjoyed a winter blend coffee with hints of brown sugar and warm spices. If you enjoyed today's art session, please don't forget to like and subscribe at the bottom of this video, and please click on the bell to receive a notification for my next art session. Thank you so much for watching my blank canvas and coffee video, and I hope to see you next time when we view another blank canvas together and maybe have some time to enjoy some coffee. See you next time.